Hello again. Thought I'd do a quick video on ballasting the way I do it. I know there's 200 other YouTube videos out there on it, but I thought I'd make it 201. So let's do this. One of the things that I do after I've laid my cork down, I actually found a paint that is just about the same color as what my ballast is. I'm using a light gray ballast, fine, and that way I find that I don't have to quite put down as much in the center of the track, and especially around the switches. I also come back with a color of earth to kind of put down there, so I don't have to get too close to that ballast when I'm actually finishing my scenery up. I use the baby spoon technique. So I've got the baby spoon here. I actually do use some regular standard glue in full strength. And then I've also got my 50-50 mix here. A cup here. A couple cups. One for my water solution with a couple drops of soap in it. The other one I'll use for my 50-50 mix of glue. A couple other things I have close by. Well, here's my eyedroppers. I do not use a spray bottle. I prefer to actually use an eyedropper. I don't think it gets quite as messy. I keep a fine tip screwdriver around. There's always that kind of that loose tie that didn't quite get down when you were putting track together. And this kind of pushes things in, makes them look neat, separate them correctly. A marker pen, sometimes I forget where I leave off. Doing the soap or the water or something, I can draw, make a mark or something to know where I kind of ended things. And also a couple of brushes. This one I actually use to spread the glue. I'll show you that. This one here is to kind of clean the ballast out of the center of the track or away from any sensitive areas. And I've got one other one here that I use. It's kind of a stronger bristle brush, flat. I use this to kind of rake the ballast into position and kind of hold it there. One of the things I've noticed lately with the cork that you buy, see if I can get a picture of this over here. This area right in through here, this is where I separated it. This side's got a nice 45-degree bevel on it, but this side, when you break the cork anymore, it kind of seems like it just does. It's kind of a ragged edge. I just don't understand why they can't do it. I do notice the cork is more flexible, but it just doesn't give you, when you break that cork in half, it doesn't give you that nice 45-degree angle. So I find that kind of raking that ballast up in there kind of helps. So anyway, those are the tools. Oh, I forgot. I got a truck off of one of my old cars. I actually use that after I get completed. I push that down the track to feel any for roughness. Maybe a piece of ballast got caught in the edge of the track there. So anyway, okay, we'll pick this up. I've already talked too much right in here, but I like to take the full strength glue and actually put a little bit of a coating down here right on the edge of the bevel. To me, that gives the ballast a little something to stick to. And we'll put some down the other side here. Then what I like to do is take a small brush and just kind of smooth that down the edge. Okay, now that we have that done there, I use the the baby spoon, and a little bit of my ballast, not too much on there, and then I like to just kind of tap it and put it on a real fine. I like to keep it light on the ballast. I don't like to put a whole lot. And just kind of keep filling that up a little bit until we have that there. Okay, now that kind of have both sides of it covered with a bit, I like to go down the center. And here I really like to keep it kind of light. Put some in. Use the finger to kind of smooth that out. This is where that kind of a little bit stiffer bristle brush to kind of just pull that up, give you the right angle. Just spread it out a little bit. Kind of look and see now where there might be a few more, just a little bit more here, a little more maybe up here. And come back one more time and kind of even that up. Okay, now that we have it kind of laid out there, just kind of get that. And when I'm doing around switches, I don't get near the moving mechanisms. In fact, generally where the switch starts and the switch ends, I really don't put any ballast in the switching area. And I find that it still looks okay. Okay, now I want to moisten it. Instead of using a spray, I like to use, here's my water with a couple drops of soap in it, eyedropper, and I actually find almost by going down and just kind of flooding the center area, the water will dissipate out the sides. Let that sit for about a minute, maybe two, and then we'll come back and we'll touch up the sides. Okay, now that this is water's kind of penetrated down through there, finger to get any ballast that's kind of moved around. Also, let's say we mentioned the screwdriver there. Sometimes, especially where I've had to add ties, they've gotten a little crooked, haven't quite stuck right. I use that little screwdriver to kind of straighten them up before I put the ballast in. Now we can come back with the eyedropper, and you can just do around the edges here, and you'll be able to moisten everything right up before we put our 50-50 glue on it. Okay, now that we've moistened it, let's say to me it's a little bit, with the sprayer you kind of get things wet quite a bit. I find the eyedropper a little bit easier. It just doesn't quite make as much mess around the outer edges. So okay, now we're ready for our glue. Okay, now that we're ready for the glue, 50-50 mixture, eyedropper, and I just come back around and put a drop in there, and I'll finish this up. Be back in a second. Okay, and to finish this up, my last and next to last step, I use that truck that I had and kind of push it down through there, feel for any X-Acto knife. There you go. There's another one right there. Kind of clear off the track, make sure it's a little smooth. We've got that step done. Another one I recommend is after a day or so is go back and clean the track. Some residue may have gotten on top. Just clean the track, the area that you've worked in, clean that off. Your trains will run good. Thank you very much, and you have a great day.